Gotta love that intro, huh?
Yeah, listen, you need
Hello!
to get a picture of Maury without the beard.
I like the beard.
His wife didn't.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? There you go, Scott. Loving it. We've got Mr. Scott there. We've got Mr. Edwin Thrower, Mego and Fly Collector Extraordinaire. Jason Seville's demise has been greatly exaggerated. There he is. Jason Seville's back. And then we've got the doctor.
Long time no see.
The doctor is in the house.
That's right.
So, how about that? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're excited tonight. We've got a great show. We've got Mr. Edwin Thrower. We're going to be talking a lot of Trek Long Island. So, Edwin, we'll start with you. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very good, thank you. How are you all?
Very good. Very good. We're looking forward to next weekend. What is next weekend?
Next week is Trek Long Island.
Whoa.
And our friends and sponsors, Mego Toys, will be there.
Yes, we will.
Out in Hop Hog, Frank.
Yeah, Hop Hog. What was I saying? Hop Hog?
I can't say it. I get it wrong every time.
It's an Indian tribe.
Okay.
Like Massapequa.
Hop Hog, New York. There you go. Hop Hog. Got it. And, Edwin, tell us a little bit about the event, what's going on and what do you guys, have planned and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's come together very nicely, and we've got a broad range of actors and celebrities coming. We've got cast and crew. So I have here my panel schedule, and I can tell you some of the actors we have coming.
Okay.
We have, in addition to Mego, who have a panel, a couple of panels, we have stars from the Star Trek Discovery. We have Doug Jones, Mr. Saru. We have David Ajala, Booker. We have Raven Dowder and Ponzile Sitoli, who are also characters from Disco. Sam Bartholomew is coming Saturday afternoon. He was in the first couple of episodes of Disco. And we have Admiral Vance himself from seasons 4 and 5, Oded Fur, who is also known for The Mummy and Resident
Evil. Right, okay.
Other things. And Once Upon a Time, I believe. We have actors from Star Trek Picard, including Evan Evagora and Issa Briones. Evan was the Romulan Legolas. I can't remember his name. Elnor. And Issa was Data's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see. We have Tony Belafonte, who was a captain in Star Trek Picard Season 2.
Okay. Very good.
Of great importance to all the fans of original Star Trek, we have several guest actors. We have David Frankham, who was Larry Marvick in Is There in Truth No Beauty, Season 3 episode with Diana Muldaur.
Wow.
He was also the voice of Sergeant Tibbs from Disney's 101 Dalmatians.
Okay.
And he was in Return of the Fly with Vincent Price and a whole host of other movies with classic actors.
Gotcha.
We have the legendary Barbara Luna, who is Captain's Woman, and she's been in a ton of other shows.
Very good.
The gorgeous France Nguyen, who is the Elasian Elan of Troyes.
Wow.
Sandy Gimple, who was the Salt Vampire, and also she played a Talosian in The Cage, and she's a stunt lady. She's still very active. She has her book being launched at our event called Stunt Lady.
Wow.
And she's going to be signing that in the vendor's room, and hopefully some Mego Salt Vampires. And we have Tanya Lamani, who was the belly dancer in Wolf in the Fold, who was killed by Jack the Ripper.
Right.
Tanya's going to be there with her book, with her books and so on, and they're doing panels. In addition, we have Savick and Spock, the reunion. We have sorry, that's my snack coming. We have Robin Curtis, who was Lieutenant Savick in Star Trek 3, and Vad Potenza, who was 13-year-old Spock. And this is the first time they've seen one another since the movie. So it's the reunion. Let me have a quick scroll down. We also have the lovely Bonnie Gordon from Star Trek Prodigy. And amongst, in addition to her panels and performing at the evening cabaret, Bonnie is we have Starfleet Academy for kids, and Bonnie is doing a children's story time in all the character voices.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we have Michael Westmore, Makeup Man, who is zooming in to be interviewed by Bonnie Moss. More about Bonnie later.
Yes.
We also have Doug Drexler and the Okudas, Mike and Denise Okuda, the sci-fi, the tech gurus on Star Trek Picard and the other Trek shows.
Okay.
They're coming in via Zoom, and they're being interviewed by a very special host who's also a guest, Alan Ashman, who wrote the Star Trek Compendium back in the 80s and the Star Trek interview book and the making of Star Trek to the Wrath of Khan. And his arrival at Trek Long Island is causing a stir because everyone's like, oh my goodness, it's Alan Ashman. So they're all bringing their compendiums to get signed.
Cool. Very
Wasn't that the first episode guide we had?
That was, and it was, and as
it was in order. Yeah, I could memorize all the episodes in order.
In a time before the internet, he was actually getting the information from like screen captures and going out to writing to people at Paramount and having material sent to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, though, B. Joe Trimble actually did the very first one. That was the one that everyone kind of modeled afterward.
Okay.
But yeah, Alan put this together as the first official.
I have that. I got that.
Nice.
I think everyone had it. Everyone at a certain age had it. I know I've got it. And let's see, who else do we have? Oh, yes, Hammer Time. We have Bruce Horak from Strange New Worlds.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Our engineer.
My favorite characters.
I have a funny feeling he's not gone.
Oh, yeah, you think?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I suspect he'll be back in another
No,
role.
there's an old rule. No body.
Yeah.
No death.
Still be around, yeah.
They never did show him dead.
We've got J.G. Hertzler, General Martok or Chancellor Martok of the House of Martok himself.
Oh, wow.
He's going to be there. He's also going to be on a panel with Star Trek authors, Michael Jan Friedman, Keith DeCandido, Rob Perlman, John Peel, and others. And because JG wrote a couple of books about Martok as well. So we have a nice author panel.
Yeah.
We have an Outer Limits panel.
Oh, wow.
We have author Dave. It's called The Outer Limits of the Final Frontier. We have author Dave Rash, who's written volumes on the Outer Limits. Dominic Stefano, son of Joseph D. Stefano, who was the original producer of the Outer Limits season 1. And he's coming in via Zoom. And we also have Barbara Luna, who did an episode, and David Frankham, who did 2 episodes. So we're having a very special Outer Limits panel. A Trek to the Zone panel. This will be by author Nick Parisi, who's talking about Star Trek actors that appeared in Twilight Zone. And I am Sounds of Star Trek. How can I forget? Alan Howard, sound designer of Star Treks 1 through 4.
Okay.
And also composer who worked with John Carpenter on They Live, Escape from New York, and Thing. Alan will be there talking about the sound design of Star Trek. And I am scrolling down.
And Edwin, just pause right there for 1 minute, just with every new people just joining the live stream.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Trek Long Island, which is next Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Edwin. The 20th and the 21st.
And how do you get there?
Edwin,
Name me up.
Shuttlecraft.
Where people, Long Island's a mystery.
It's Long Island Railroad. I've heard some things about. I'm going to be driving, so
but
I'm starting on Monday, and I might just make it by Friday.
It's on Vets Highway.
Yes,
Veterans Highway.
Vets Highway.
The Hyatt Regency. I don't know the exact geography, but it's the Hyatt Regency.
Okay. I know the neighborhood.
It is.
What's the hotel?
Hyatt Regency.
Hyatt Regency. It's probably exit 57 off the LAE.
Yeah.
That's Vets Highway.
That sounds about right. I just saw someone in the chat room. I just wish you didn't schedule the Ladies of Trek photo op at the same time as the Mego panel. Well, fear not, because there's photo sessions both days, so they're going to be there Sunday doing a photo.
We'll
session.
film the Trek panel.
Yeah, we're filming the Mego. We'll be streaming it. We'll be streaming it. So,
We'll,
So there's 2 opportunities to get photo ops with them, and they'll also be doing selfies at their table, I believe, as well.
Okay.
They'll be around.
Don't worry, we've given plenty of opportunities. There's not too many clashes, but it's been very difficult trying to pull this all together and make everyone happy. We also have a science track. We have real scientists beaming in from NASA. and from various agencies and other scientific institutions to talk about the science of Star Trek. We have Dr. Hamid Noor coming in virtually. And we have another, and he's very well known amongst Trek circles, and a lot of other scientists coming to talk about things like the influence of Trek on real scientists, or there's no such thing as an M-class planet, and so on and so forth.
Now you tell us.
Yeah, right.
Right. The Art of Star Trek is another panel. We have Kavita Maharaj, who is well known from Retrospect Studios for her paintings of Spock, is how she got started. And then everyone wanted to buy them, and she sent one picture off to get licensed, and CBS loved it and just gave her the license in like a record amount of time.
Wow!
So she is now producing official portraits for Star Trek and the various Star Trek shows, and you can find out more about her at Retrospect Studios.
Very cool.
And let me see, we have. In addition to that, we have, I had something I was going to, oh, yes, Bonnie Moss.
Bonnie Moss.
Bonnie Moss. So Bonnie is a very dear friend and a lifelong fan of Leonard Nimoy and friend of 35 years of Leonard Nimoy and the Nimoy family. And Bonnie is, she is doing a 90-minute presentation. There will be a break in between so she can get her photo ops. And she's going to be talking about, it's called Leonard Nimoy, A Life, a Career, and a Friendship. And she's already taken me through the slides. And I'm a lifelong fan, and there's slides I've never seen before, pictures I've never seen. And again, like Alan with the compendium, she got these by writing into the studio back in the day. And many of these pictures don't exist. So so we're looking forward to Bonnie. In addition to that, Bonnie's going to be interviewing Michael Westmore, as I mentioned previously, the makeup man. Zooming in. And Bonnie said to me, I really want to see Oded Fur. Edwin, please do not schedule me opposite Oded Fur. And I said, Bonnie, I'm really sorry to tell you, but you've got an interview at that time.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, can we move it? I said, well, you might not want to because you're interviewing Oded Fur. And her jaw hit the ground.
Right.
And then when she recovered, she was like saying, well, can you come on stage and interview with me? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
So,
wow. That's really cool. It sounds like you've got a ton of stuff planned for next weekend.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. So.
Let's talk about real quick, shift gears and talk about some of the vendors. We know that Mego Corp is going to be there, but who else, and what type of other vendors are you guys going to have on? We
have got, and this is where their names start to escape me. We've got Pixel Who, our friends from Pixel Who are coming, and they've got some Star Trek designs. They do a lot of designs for various science fiction shows, mainly Doctor Who, and they attend Long Island Doctor Who, but they're doing some Star Trek designs, and I've seen their Discovery and I've seen their TNG and original series, and they look phenomenal.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have, I can't remember the name of the badge company offhand, but they do the pins, the official pins.
And
I'm sorry.
What's that, Jason?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are coming, and they're going to have a lot of rarities and things restocked. And we have a lot of other sort of local vendors coming. There's an autograph and collectibles shop coming, and they've got lots of the plaques and everything, the QVC plaques and autographs.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, lots of different vendors. And there's it's the names. I can't remember the names.
Sure. Well, it sounds like you guys have a really wide range of celebrity guests, a lot of wide range of different types of vendors and things like that.
And of course,
Mego. Yes, Mego will be there. Mego will be there with the life-size Star Trek banner as well.
Yes.
For pictures. So
let's talk about that for a second.
It's pretty cool. It's actually 7 foot high by 5 foot wide. The one side is classic Trek. The flip side, which is freestanding, so you could get pictures on both sides, people at the same time, is actually the newer Trek cards coming out. So we'll have that set up. We're hoping to get Doug Jones and, Sandy and a couple of the other folks in front of that and getting some really cool pictures. So
it's a perfect excuse for fans to dress up and make sure they
exactly.
Yes.
You can position yourself as if you're a Mego.
Yes.
In your Star Trek uniform with either the original card art or the modern card art that we're using,
Right.
and you can post it on social media.
And again, for those just joining, we're talking about Trek Long Island next weekend in Hauppauge, New York, and it's actually the 20th and 21st.
So Long Island.
Long Island. There
If
you go.
you live in Jersey, you can get to Long Island.
Yeah.
You may not want to.
Scott's got a picture of it. There
I'm
you go,
coming
Scott.
from Connecticut to Long Island, so if I can come from Connecticut,
Yeah. There you go, Scott. Hold that up again, Scott.
If you live in the Bronx, you can get to Long Island.
Yeah. Scott's got a cool picture of it, really good picture.
Yeah.
Of it. That's the banner.
Was it 6 foot, Frank?
I
6
think,
foot
I
top?
think it's actually more closer to 7 foot.
It's 7 foot because you have to figure on 6 foot people.
Right.
There has to be space over their heads.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a life size card.
It's life
And-
size.
and
Size card.
not to be outdone, but there's also the new
You got the
Trek
other.
art.
There you go.
New,
Well, that's
The
the
other side.
flip side of the same banner.
Yep.
style guide art. So
It's freestanding too, so people can
Hey, so-
utilize both sides at the same time. Yeah.
So
So
if you're
this-
a Discovery or Strange New Worlds fan,
There you go.
so
Oh,
with this rack, you can now have both sides at the same time, right?
Correct. Yep. Yep. You sure can.
the way
There
it
you
was
go.
set up was,
Yeah.
So as long as it's in a space where you can stand on either side.
Right.
Now, if you put it up against the wall, then it's not going to work.
One sided. So, yeah, I can tell you, Edwin, a lot of folks have already reached out to me about, the Trek Long Island, saying they're going to be there. A lot of Mego ambassadors too. So it sounds like a really exciting event. I mean, what do you guys think?
Are you kidding me? I'm in my head. I'm trying to think like, how can I get there? Because what I told you earlier before we went on air,
Right.
throw that out the window. Now I'm thinking like, I mean, I have the PTO days built up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can skip,
It's a
I can
12-hour
skip the
drive.
doctors.
I
Yeah.
kind of have to be there.
Right.
I can do that. I could do that in my sleep, and I probably would.
And
be
you do,
sleeping.
yeah. It's a 12-hour drive from North Carolina to Long Island.
Hey.
So I'm just digging through the Facebook page because I'm so well prepared. But we've got GJ Saiga, who offer a wide selection of autographs, plaques, frame prints, ornaments, toys, and other things. Mainly autographs.
Okay.
Half the fun is the surprise.
Yeah.
Yep.
You turn a corner and see somebody with stuff. You're like, I can't believe they make this.
Right.
During JG Hertzler's talk, we will be auctioning off a batleth that was mailed to us from the Klingon shop. They're a craft place that makes real batleths, like not foam ones, but like
For
Real
real,
fake
for real.
balance. Yeah.
that-
For
that-
real Klingon.
Like, don't pick it up and drop it on your foot. You may have a problem, Batleth.
Yeah.
you might have half a foot if you drop it. But
Yeah.
So the Klingon shop very kindly donated one of their handcrafted batleths to be auctioned off during the House of Martok panel, which is on Sunday at 11 on the main stage.
Very cool.
And I am scrolling down. We have in the evening, for the Q pass holders, the Q passes are now like that you can no longer get them.
Okay.
And that includes the dinner, early admission, reserved seating, free photo op, free autograph, and a dinner and cabaret. And at the dinner, the actors, the talent will be sat with the attendees.
Okay.
And there was also dinner tickets, which are now sadly off sale because we have to give the hotel numbers.
Gotcha.
But we also have a GA pass, general admission, which is $50 for the whole weekend.
That's still available, Edwin?
That's still available, and I believe and they're available at the door.
You can buy that online now if they wanted to.
You can buy that online now, and I'm not sure. I was talking with Steph because there might be an announcement about a preferred seating ticket.
Okay.
That's basically going to be like the Q pass, but without
Gotcha.
the dinner and the cabaret. And for those not going to the cabaret, we will also be having entertainment in the main auditorium, and we have a cosplay masquerade for like 3 hours, magic show, trivia, stand-up comedians. We've got a lot of stand-up comedians coming in from New York. Very kind. No, someone's asking any Orion Slave Girl Migos in the.
Well, kind of.
That question always
We'll
comes
take
up.
the reptile,
Pop
the head off.
question always comes up.
Yeah,
so
I so want to do an Orion Slave Girl. It's just it's just one of those things like, getting to it. I'm waiting for the new female body.
on the list,
There you
and
go.
we will dive into that. We will.
So we all paused there. We let we let Paul instigate it. Thank you, Paul. So for those of you, if you didn't just hear what the man said, he's a
I
man
know
of his
nothing.
word.
Hey, everybody out there watching the live, stay tuned. The next segment we're going to get into, some Mego stuff too. Edwin, you talked about the $50 2-day pass. Are people able to buy just a 1-day pass too? How does that work?
There is going to be a pass where because there's a convention going on the same weekend, and we've got like an offer that if you're at the other con and then you want to just come to ours for like late Saturday, Sunday, after a certain time you can purchase what's called kind of like a con hopper pass. So you can come in. I don't think there's like actually a 1 day. There might be 1 days on the day, but currently it's just the $50 2-day
So
pass.
if people were just to show up Saturday at the door, are they able to buy tickets on site too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And like I say, there may well be this preferred seating. I've been discussing it with Stephanie because it seems, we should continue to offer people something that's more than GA but less than the Q class.
And you mentioned Stephanie. I want to talk a little bit about Stephanie real quick.
Yes, Stephanie is a librarian, and she is the founder of Library for the Kind, which is a charity which helps to raise funds to provide library books for underserved communities.
Okay.
It's called Library for the Kind. It promotes a atmosphere like Star Trek of tolerance and understanding. And they are amongst, like you guys, the sponsors of our event. And Stephanie's long wanted to put together something that represents that cause, and Star Trek seems to represent that. It gives the future we would all like to see.
Right.
And so basically, she put this together, and she approached myself and Rachel because she knew I'd done a lot with Star Trek and said, "Would you be interested in being involved?" And I said, "Yeah." So Stephanie's done a phenomenal amount of work for this, and this is her baby.
Okay.
And she's been incredible, and I think it's going to be really successful. We've had a lot.
Sounds amazing. It sounds amazing.
Yeah,
From people, including all of you here, and lots of good people coming. We've had celebrities and other talent reaching out to us to come, and some of them we've had to say, look, we are planning to and hoping to do one next year.
Okay.
And we're already planning for that. So
nice. Scott, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
It's a two-parter. First, Edwin. So, how many? If this was asked before, forgive me. How long have you been doing this particular event here? Is this the first official,
or our maiden voyage? This is our first one.
Very cool.
Okay, so yeah, and the second part is the whole segment that you were just talking about with the
House of
essence.
Martok? Oh, go ahead.
No. Just the essence of with the books and stuff like that, and in bringing that Star Trek. God, I don't have the words for it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. God, thank you.
Yep.
Philosophy. Bringing that in real life, in real time. That's awesome. That's awesome.
IDIC.
That was one of the things we wanted, and when we were putting this together, I said to Stephanie, we were discussing it, and we said we don't just want it to be your regular convention where the actors show up, they do a Q&A, they sign autographs. We want to have, but we've got a whole track for podcasters to do panels. We've got a whole track for fan panels, and we've got a whole range of panels there. There's one on War of the Worlds, the enduring legacy of War of the Worlds.
Right.
There's a panel on the Star Trek set tour at Ticonderoga, how the construction of that and how it came into being,
which is absolutely amazing.
Is it, Paul? Is it?
It is worth the drive. It is worth to get there. It is worth it.
And he shows up twice a year, so pose on the bridge with him. But at least twice a year he shows up.
I wore a uniform.
Really? Okay.
If you go, you got to be in uniform. It makes it complete.
Very cool.
It's my number one religious site for me to visit.
It is. It's Mecca. It is.
Yeah.
Building the next generation set next door.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So when's that going to reveal?
We've been working on it. It's
I have
The last
gonna take
update
years.
was that things were on hold for the moment. Was the last.
Okay.
It'll take years.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but so they are Brian Gottschalk from the set tour is coming to give a talk about the construction of the set, and it's there's so much going on. We've got like other television shows, Outer Limits, Twilight Zone.
Wow.
We've got art. We've got literature. We've
Okay.
got.
It's like the old science fiction conventions.
It is. It is.
It's what it used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems
Not
like because
just-
you're a fan, it seems
Yeah.
like this is like those traditional conventions we all remember from 40 years ago. Where
Right. It's not
the love
just
and the camaraderie and not the
Yeah.
commercialism aspect.
it's not just signing autographs. It's community.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Which
well,
is what we always wanted.
the other thing about Star Trek is, you get some people on Facebook and they write, oh, it's all Discovery people, or oh, we want just the old Star Trek, and by the old Star Trek they mean pre-Enterprise, Enterprise in the 90s Star Trek.
TOS.
Yeah, and
Well,
the original-
TOS and TNG.
TNG,
And
right.
even Deep Space Nine, they look down their nose at.
yeah,
Yeah.
and,
Like,
and
hey,
so we've said
Voyager
like.
too.
for everybody.
Yeah, well, we've said like we have to represent all Star Trek, and we're not going to get actors from every Star Trek, but we try to get a good representation.
Sounds like
And
you guys are doing a
if
great
there's,
job.
if there's not many
Yeah,
people to see this year,
Yeah.
please still come and support us because it's a celebration of Trek and science fiction. And if you support us this year, then we will have another one next year, and there will hopefully be some guests next time around that you would prefer to see.
Sure. Right.
So, and if you've got your dream guests at this one, then that's perfect. It's a win-win.
Honestly, just from what you're saying, that's exciting enough. You don't even honestly just everything that you put together thus far.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm excited, and I'm 99% sure I can't even make it. I know exactly.
But-
I mean, I'm almost
see,
bummed.
fans- You see fans fighting about Star Trek, and it's not just Star Trek, it's Star Wars and Doctor Who as well. But you see
Okay.
fans fighting about it, and I'm like, look, my philosophy of Star Trek is there's versions I love, there's versions I'm not so keen on,
Right.
but it doesn't stop us going to I see it like a buffet.
Right.
You may like sushi, I may like curry. That doesn't stop us eating a meal together at the same table and enjoying one another's company. And I
Sure,
think Star
sure.
Trek.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agree with that. And not only that, if all new Trek is just frowned upon immediately because it's not the original, then it's going to go away. Then all you have is 79 episodes.
Don't you
Or
remember-
the 236?
Yeah.
Don't you remember 87 when Next Generation came out?
Oh, I definitely remember.
And
I
they
remember.
were gnashing their teeth
Uh-huh.
over who's this old guy captain? When is he going to die?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right.
let me ask this question. Let me go around the room with this question. I got to ask Paul first because I've known, I just know he's a Star Trek nut like I am. My first images that I saw was the local TV guide, and it had they were on the cover that very first promo pic of TNG, where they all just kind of the group shot. When you saw that before it aired, and then after the first episode aired, what did you think?
Oh, I was counting off the minutes until Next Generation premiered. I remember watching my first episode of original series, Day of the Dove.
Wow.
Wow. But what did you?
And on a color TV set, and I was like, "This is great."
Yeah.
First time I watched Star Trek, I was into Spock because he was like a superhero.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And then I was
absolutely.
in college. I watched them again, and I realized Kirk is the greatest manager.
Yeah.
It's all about Kirk.
Right.
He leads
right.
from the front. He uses sense of humor. He's he's the best leader you ever had.
Yeah.
So, then when they talked about doing a new series, I was there, just like we were there for the movies.
Right.
And they said, I don't know, can a new crew actually do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It took 2 seasons for me because I watched the first couple episodes and I was like, but after season 2, I was right back into it.
But,
Right.
Edwin, same question for you. What did you?
My first exposure, I watched reruns in the 70s in England when I was a kid, but I really got into it. I liked the Star Trek movies. I went to see Star Trek 3, and quite frankly, when they blew up the Enterprise, I was shocked.
yeah.
I cannot believe they'd done it. And then I started to watch reruns on BBC Two in England.
Yeah.
to just see the Enterprise, and then I got more and more into it. And Kirk was my favorite character, and I love Spock.
Okay.
TNG came out, and I just could not get into it. I really couldn't.
Really?
Different flavor.
I liked it from about season 3 onwards. There were some really good episodes, and as it went on, it got quite enjoyable. But I never really got into it. I liked Deep Space Nine, I liked Voyager, and I liked Enterprise. And I'll be honest with you, I love the new stuff. I'm not so keen on Lower Decks. I love Discovery. I love Strange New Worlds.
Oh, Strange New Worlds.
Picard, I thought the first couple of seasons were okay, and the last one was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I love Prodigy. I love Star Trek Prodigy. It's a kid. I say it's a kid show, but it's actually really got that Star Trek message.
Right.
It's incredible. So overall, I'd say I pretty much like most of it, and we get and I don't mind the Abrams films. I didn't care much for Into Darkness because it was why rip off Wrath of Khan when it's already been made perfectly.
Right.
That's.
I have to say, Star Trek Beyond is the one I enjoyed the most because it's the one that felt most like an episode. The last one.
Did. Yeah, I agree.
I love
it.
So
Yep.
yeah,
They're always running.
Yes, it seems like
they always got to run. Jason, what did you first time? And the question was first time. The pre-talk of Next Generation, the first images, and then what did you think when you first couple episodes?
Well, I think I've talked before. I mean, Star Trek has been in my life for over 50 years. I mean, I started, like a lot of you, with the original series. I was a teenager when I first heard the rumblings in '86 that, we're going to do a new Star Trek show. And I'll admit, I was on board, totally on board, just because I knew Gene Roddenberry was coming back to shepherd his vision into the next step. And that, to me, I mean, my brain, poo! And when the show finally premiered, I was blown away. The month before the show premiered, I was at a convention in Syracuse, New York that Jimmy Doohan was at. And there was starting to be a camp of the people who you can't replace Kirk and Spock. And there were people who were more flexible in their thinking. And it's like, well, let's see what comes next.
Right.
I saw that first episode and the whole idea of Q and what he brought to the table in that story. I mean, that was Gene Roddenberry. To me, that was quintessential Gene Roddenberry Star Trek.
Yeah.
Fell in love totally. And it didn't diminish my love for the original series. Kirk and Spock, I mean, 50 years these people have been in our lives, our friends, I mean,
before
I was totally on board from first season, first episode. I didn't wait till third season with the Best of Both Worlds Borg episode. I thought the first 2 seasons actually exemplified that whole idea of going where no man has gone before.
So
after that third season, everywhere they go, there's already humans and star bases there.
Right. Yeah.
So before I ask Frank the same question, or just let him answer the same question, I do want to add to what you just said, Jason, about with Q and stuff like that. My thought was this: let's say the only thing I ever saw was that first season. I don't think this is just my opinion, but I don't think it was so well defined as you know it now, because we got to see what Q became. We got to see that where they were trying to push Riker to be the lead, and you saw Picard, Patrick Stewart, just as an actor, just his presence, just was better than Jonathan Frakes, and like Deanna Troi was kind of like I feel you got to see the character development. Had I never seen anything after that, or I'm not sure that opinion. I wouldn't be able to say like
it had to develop.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Star Trek is about the characters. So until you know the characters, how can you really get into it?
Right.
Those first 2 seasons.
I submit to you this: the actors themselves didn't know the characters. And once
discover.
Exactly. Frank,
in development, you develop.
Yeah. Well, for me, this is not just me blowing smoke. For me, my first exposure to Star Trek was actually getting the bridge play set and the Mego figures from my mom. I had never watched the show. It was probably 1977. I was probably like 4 years old. That's what was my introduction to Star Trek, and that's what made me want to watch the original show. Fast forward to 1987, I'm still pretty young, but what caught my eye were the TV promos of the different uniforms. That's what caught my attention, the different colors. I'm like, they look amazing. And the first thing I thought about, not what the show is going to be like, I'm thinking, what kind of toys are they going to come out with? Exaggeration. I'm thinking,
I'm very sorry, Frank.
I had no idea what was going on with Mego at the time and things like that. But I actually, I'm thinking, oh my God, are we going to get new Mego Trek figures? That's the first thing I thought about when I saw it. But, I did get into the show later on, probably like season 3. I started really getting into it. And, Worf is still one of my all-time favorite characters. So, I love it. What else can I say? So, and then, fast forward to now, I started watching Discovery. Personally, I like the first season better than the subsequent seasons of Discovery. The second season was pretty good when they brought Pike on and Spock. But I got to say, I absolutely in love with Strange New Worlds. That show for me is like, it's almost like bringing TOS back. It's not. I know it's not, but it's very close.
But it is. But that's the point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I have the guilty pleasure of really loving Lower Decks.
Jason, pause for 1 second, Jason, real quick before we go on this Trek tangent. I just want to, again, remind everybody we're here talking to Edwin Thrower. Edwin, tell us about next weekend. What's next weekend again for people who may have just joined?
It is Trek Long Island. It is a celebration of Star Trek and science fiction. And we have actors from Discovery, including Doug Jones, David Ajala. We have guest stars from the original series, including Barbara Luna and Francis Nguyen. And we have stars from Picard.
There you go.
Yeah, Mr. Saru himself is there. Be prepared to be hug. I've heard he's a hugger.
And that is next weekend?
It's next weekend, Saturday. I hope it's next weekend, Frank, because you're
this weekend.
Higher Regency.
Frank shows up at an empty hotel.
Hapog, New York. There you go. Trek Long Island. Thank you.
Trek Long Island.
Yeah, there you go. But Jason, continue, sir. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I wanted to throw a little love Lower Decks way too. For a show that I thought was just going to be like a Rick and Morty ripoff.
Yeah. A lot of inside jokes.
To incorporate a lot of Star Trek's humanity. Into a show that I fell in love with it. Absolutely. I can't wait to see the team up they're doing with Strange New Worlds this coming season.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
It is.
I wonder how they're going to do that.
I think they're going to make Strange New Worlds animated.
Well, I actually heard it might be the opposite.
Really? They're going to have
that would be funny.
Jack Quaid and Tawny, they actually went to one of the conventions in their costumes.
That would actually be funny.
Wow. Okay. Hey, I'm for it. Yeah. Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not? So
Track boldly going where no entertainment.
Yeah. But definitely, guys, exciting things for next weekend, and we're all looking forward to it. Edwin, it sounds like it's going to be a tremendous event.
I just hope
for sure
Monday the 22nd.
Right. All you lazy guys that live in Suffolk, drive to Hop Hog.
Just if you guys are within driving distance, I would say definitely show up. The Mego booth, we're going to have some really cool stuff on display. Tons of new stuff, tons of vintage stuff, some really cool stuff. The Mego panel, like Edwin said, is actually Saturday at 11 a.m. So, it's going to be a fun time.
And I think you and Paul have a panel with Matt and
Sunday.
Jonathan on Sunday as well about toys of Star. That's toys in general, but the one on Saturday is totally Mego.
Yeah, correct.
Wake me up at 2 a.m. and I'll talk Mego.
Yeah, we'll talk toys. We'll talk toys. Yeah, for sure.
Shake me away. What?
But so it's going to be a great.
I think it's important to reiterate this whole event is being put together by people who are fans and who love this show.
Yeah.
In a world where Comic-Cons are the McDonald's of get-togethers, this is something you don't want to miss. You're going to be surrounded by family, community, and love.
Yep, go ahead.
I should actually tell you guys, because it is a non-profit. And I'm just pulling up the charities. We are helping some charities as well.
Okay.
And of course, when I try and find them, I can't find them. You think I would be a bit more prepared than this, wouldn't you?
It's okay. I'm sure I haven't ready that day.
No, you've done tremendous job tonight, Edwin. It was,
Yeah. So anyway, but we've got a number of charities we're supporting, and it's non-profit. Okay. And everything that we make this year that doesn't go to charity is literally going right back into next year.
Wow. Okay.
To make this, we would love to make this an annual event.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing.
So,
go ahead
and talk. No, I was going to say, go ahead and talk. I'm trying to pull something up as you guys.
Yeah. Let's.
I
All right,
just
for you guys that are in Bronx or Queens, you can come out to Long Island. They don't charge for parking.
Hey, I want to see Seth out there. I want to see Kevin. I want to see Lewis.
Yeah, listen,
You guys know what I'm talking
out in
about.
the Hog, we have places to park.
Right.
Okay, so you can just pull in and leave your car. It's nice.
Yeah, we
Spread out.
car
if you guys look at your screen,
Yep.
for those that don't know, this is what we're talking about. This is what Edwin and his team have put together. I mean, and this is just like the panel from all the things. If you, like Frank said, if you're just tuning in, Edwin went from A to Z, and I got to tell you, this
More
sounds
stars
amazing.
than in the galaxy.
I'm telling you, David Frankham, I believe he's the oldest living guest star from the original Star Trek. He's 97 years young.
Wow.
So, and he's going to be
Very
coming
cool.
in New Mexico to join us.
Okay.
Actually, the last time he did one of the Ticonderoga events, James actually had his original costume. Didn't I
Yep.
actually see the pictures where he
It's
got
still-
to put that on and it's
Oh,
still
really?
there?
It's
Yeah.
still there. It's still there at Ticonderoga. The costume. Yeah.
Wow.
That would be this question I could answer.
Spock Brown. Oh, Spock Brown. Sorry, I was like, who's Spock Brown? And then I realized.
Hey, that's gonna stick. That's gonna stick. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. Very cool.
And
Yeah,
the answer is
You're right. I personally cannot wait, Edwin.
What was that?
I said I personally cannot wait. It's gonna be an exciting.
Oh yeah, no, I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait to come by your booth. You know, and I've had a lot of people write to me asking about your booth in particular, and my friend,
it's cool because
he's going to be
Frank
living
had
at your booth.
everything we've made
Yeah.
since Mego came back, and he carries a lot of vintage.
Yes, I'll have a lot of vintage on hand. A lot of Trek vintage, Mego vintage Trek too. So
I'm hoping you guys do. I don't know if you'll do more Discovery, but I'm certainly hoping you do more Strange New Worlds. You know,
that's a good segue there. I mean, we can definitely start moving into some Mego talk if if you guys are all okay and ready for that. Definitely, we can do that.
I've got to make sure that I hit the right button. If I hit the wrong button, everything goes bad. So I make sure I hit the right button. Yay! I hit the right button. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. I
I
think
personally and definitely hoping, for a lot more Trek. We'll see what Mr. Paul Clark has to say. But he's off camera. But
Hey,
all
sorry.
there- he's
I went to
back now.
unmute
Oh,
and then
Oh.
went off camera. So,
all right. So
sorry, what did I miss?
we're just talking about potential, Trek figures for the future for Mego. What do you think, Paul?
Well, we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of Mego Star Trek.
What?
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 Well, it's not hard to figure out. I mean, I
God,
walked into
we
the
are
office
all old.
one day about a year ago. I walked into the office and said, 2022 is the 50th anniversary of Mego World's Greatest Superheroes.
Right?
And we're like, what? What did that? What? How do you know that? What? It's like, yeah, by the way, they came out in 1972. Oh, I guess we should make some then. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Actually, we have been talking to CBS about doing, 50th anniversary Mego Star Trek. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to say yes, but
Right.
it's, we have the license.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
they letting Playmates use their old packaging
Okay.
on their figures, so there's no reason why they let us make the banner.
Yeah.
So there's no reason they told us. Yeah, we have no problem with the old packaging.
Wow.
But it's a matter of though actually going through the submission process. But,
Okay. That's exciting. Potentially.
That is.
I mean, we've got the Star Trek license is very important to Mego, and there's a real fan base there.
You've got the 40th anniversary of Star Trek 3 next year, and
Yes,
and
the
we
45th
have-
anniversary of motion picture.
Okay.
That's they've reminded us, and they said, "Oh, okay." So, Mego is very able to do things. It's a matter of is the fan base there,
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about doing Star Trek conventions is you get to meet the fans, you get to
Right.
talk
Yep, for
and
sure.
show them what you're doing.
Ooh, can I throw something out there? Isn't
Sure.
that very Spock? Ooh, remember that episode? Captain, I have a question.
No, I've
Um,
never seen that.
So because it's not likely that I'm going to make this year, but I will try if I have to hijack a bus. But we can we not plan to do a exclusive set of TOS figures for next Long Island con, Star Trek con?
That would be awesome if you could.
See,
If there is, I'm sure we'll be working on it. Exclusive is tough on, the like you want to when a show promoter says, "Oh, I want exclusive," which we get a lot. It's like you realize you have to buy the run,
Right.
and it's like, and you may not sell them all right away. So it's a tough thing for a show. I get from, we get approached by a lot of show promoters that say, "I want to do an exclusive." Well, that's great, and then you start telling them the numbers, and they go, "Oh." It's like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing,
It's very
and
involved.
the time.
Very involved.
Production, the number of months involved for production,
Yeah.
And if it's a license thing, you have to get through the approvals,
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have to get done. So,
so you got a year. No, I'm kidding. No.
Hey, I can tell
I
you this.
got nothing else to do.
Hey, I can tell you this.
Nothing else going on.
At this year's Trek Long Island, we will have a wide assortment of Mego Trek available.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
That's,
absolutely.
present. So, some really cool stuff, some display pieces. So it's going to be an exciting event. You got to, if you can make it, you got to come to this event.
It's worth leaving your mom's basement.
There you go. It's going to be tremendous.
Actually, now it's probably their basement and mom. Or the room.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But it's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I can tell you, if you like vintage Trek, we'll have vintage Trek. If you like new Trek, we'll have new Trek. It's going to be cool. Very cool.
Hey, Brian.
There it is.
Oh, Brian. I love how it's just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
I've been here all along.
Scott.
Yes.
Start off, Brian, with your question that you were asking us earlier.
Brian,
Yeah.
the question that I asked earlier. So this is Edwin Thrower. Of course, you.
Hi.
He's
Oh wait, you didn't see there. I waved at the right hand.
Yeah.
he's gonna do this thing next weekend. This little Star Trek thing. My question was this:
Yeah, I've been watching, by the way. So.
in 1987, when the Next Generation came out, the very first episode that aired and all that, what was the impact on you? What did you think? What?
Okay, first of all, I don't like. I'm glad I'm not the greatest guy to talk about Star Trek as much as I love it, and I have a house full of collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I was just talking about a counter at Fairpoint the other day, and I was like, "Oh God, what is this?" I did not, and I like cheese and I like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That first season's real tacky.
It was
and
its way through. You could tell.
It got better, and I've seen every episode. I'm just not a super fan of it, but I will admit. That it was a phenomenon, and
right.
I put. By the way, I gave myself that title. I just think
I've been editing names.
Yeah. No, I just don't want anyone to think you did it. That's self-inflicted. But I was underwhelmed. Other than that one episode with the bugs that come out of people, which was like, this is from a different show.
Right.
But a lot of TV looked like that back then. It had that kind of Captain Power look in that first season.
You're right.
Yeah. Video toaster effects.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And like I said, I think they started putting a lot more money into it, and later seasons are far superior. I just felt like in their interpretation of Star Trek, they had boiled out that thing I liked. And I find it like it's back. I like Strange New Worlds, I think is fantastic.
Yeah. That's
I've liked some of the movies, not all of them. And my wife was a huge fan of Voyager, for what it's worth, you know. But first of all, you guys keep like naming dates and how many decades ago, and it's like really depressing to know that like Search for Spock was 40 years ago. I remember seeing that after I got home from summer camp.
Wow.
That's I'm planning a 40th anniversary panel next year. So that's
nice. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
Are you gonna get the punk rock guy? No, that was Star Trek 4.
Oh, actually, yes.
Yeah.
He was supposed to come this year. Kirk.
Oh yeah.
And he could not commit to the weekend because his goddaughter is graduating in Florida, and he had to go to the family party. We've been talking with him. I saw him in February, and he's tentatively coming to the 2024 event. And it's our hope. In fact, if you look on my Facebook page, you'll see some rather choice selfies outside of Cheesecake Factory.
Awesome.
We're hoping that when he comes, we're going to be able to do photo ops as the punk.
Oh, that's cool.
That's very cool.
So that's something we are tentatively planning for next year.
Gotcha. Very cool. Neat. That's awesome.
And we'd love a Mego action figure of the punk on the bus.
I recommended that at one point.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Dr. Severin.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey guys, before we segue, I know we're going to mention some stuff about, Brian, not to put you on the spot, but I was going to ask you about Mego meeting, that sort of thing. Again, Edwin, next weekend, let it rip, sir. What's happening next weekend?
Trek Long Island, celebration of all things Trek and science fiction, and we've got guests from Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, and guest stars even from the original series beaming in for like a whole 48 hours of fun. We've got cabaret, entertainment, etc.
Very cool.
Magic shows, songs, stand-up comedy, children's. There's a Starfleet Academy for children, so the place for kids to hang out and do crafts and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's very.
The word celebration is pretty key here.
Yeah,
this is going to be a fun-loving celebration.
Oh, and we've got some artists coming who work on the Picard comic, and they're doing a signing on Saturday evening as well. So
nice!
Wow,
very cool. Again, Edwin, cannot wait. It sounds like a phenomenal event. If you guys out there can make it, I would encourage you, to drive out. It's going to be a tremendous show. Tremendous. Cannot wait, Edwin.
Hey, just real quick.
Yep.
I wanted to throw that out there.
Look at that.
Oh.
What? Look at that.
Oh.
Don't tell me. I know where that's from.
That looks awesome.
I'm sorry. Why was that suddenly dumped?
You're not, Paul. We just have an Andorian on here.
It really looks like the actor. I think it was
William O'Connell. William O'Connell. Yeah,
it actually is the actor. I photoshopped the hands. No, I'm kidding. It's
right. Yeah, it looks good.
The sculpt was done by James Brady.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that makes sense.
Very
I thought Reggie Nalder played a.
Yes, it's Reggie.
That looks great.
Yeah,
Reggie Nalder.
Yeah, so that's
like
the Salem Slot vampire. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. So, okay. Very cool, Scott.
So this is the Andorian ambassador, not the counterfeit Andorian.
Okay.
Right.
That's actually the one Mego did.
Is the counterfeit guy.
Was actually the one who turned out to be an Orion.
Yeah, it's like a 10 out of 10 likeness to that actor.
Yeah,
that was James Brady.
The actual figure.
You're right. Yeah,
it's
speaking of 10 out of 10.
Nice. Very cool.
Now, there was somebody in the Mego groups years ago that told us that his mother-in-law is one of the Telosians.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's Sandy coming to our convention, and she was one of the Telosians.
Yeah, I can't remember the fellow's name, but I just remember
Wow.
that was a
Meg
funny
Wiley
anecdote.
was the lead Telosian. She was also
Okay.
the grandmother type in the last Starfighter movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Nice.
Lead Telosian.
Those look
David
great.
Lee.
Wasn't that Meg Wiley?
Meg Wiley.
Meg
Yeah.
Wiley.
Yeah, those look great. Cannot wait.
So I actually have to
Yeah.
put the talent name with the submission
Okay.
Mm.
Those look cool.
because CBS was really good about having the actors
Yeah.
sign off on the likeness
Okay.
back from
So-
the early days.
They look great.
You should talk to France Nguyen about why there's not a Elan action.
Troyes.
Troyes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, one of Alan's bodyguards was Dick Durock, who later
Yes.
played Swamp
Okay.
Thing.
Oh, very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
that was like one of his first acting gigs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess once that female body's ready to go, Paul, I guess you guys can go to the well and all kinds of Trek characters, huh?
We need some green ladies.
Yeah,
I
right.
made Green Ladies. I did the Wicked Witch. I did Reptile.
Yeah,
They're like every
they're,
time I do a
kind
woman,
of they're
green.
kind of
That,
They're
that
kinda
wasn't a
uh-oh in the
lady.
face
It was a
department.
witch. She was.
Yeah.
Vina, Susan Oliver.
There you go. There you go.
yeah.
And let's not forget another Nichelle Nichols Uhura.
Mhm.
Yep, there you go. Definitely. But Brian, let's talk to
Updated,
Mr. Tyler.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Brian, we're gonna give the floor over to you, sir. Let's talk a little Mego meet, man. What's going on?
Close up.
There
well,
you go.
no, don't do that. What I was going to say is, well, you know, Frank, we had a meeting with the folks at PowerCon this week. It went really well. PowerCon is obviously a different situation than we're used to. It's a very big show. And what we're trying to do is kind of have our own little corner of that show, including a separate like area we can go to after the show for things such as a swap meet on Friday, a general get together, and probably our customs auction if we can swing it on Saturday. And then we're also hoping to do a kids custom contest up there. You know, basically just have some fun with the space we have. Evening activities will obviously splinter off into restaurants and bars and that sort of thing, but it's coming along, and we should have an itinerary very shortly. To anyone that has applied for a table, the folks at anybody that has applied for a table and you haven't heard back, it's the folks at PowerCon wanted to apologize. There's sort of a pecking order going on right now, and they're just waiting to finalize 2 booths so then they can concentrate on our section. You know, I think they're very meticulous in terms of the spacing, and our conversations with Val, the showrunner, were fantastic. He's definitely done this before, and he had a lot of things I wouldn't have considered. Like I'd never really his whole mapping the floor is pretty cool, actually. And we're gonna have our own. We're gonna feel connected to the show, but we're gonna have our own little corner. And it looks like also near the Mego area will be a just a general sitting area as well. So that's gonna kind of probably be a lot of us.
That's very cool.
Squatters.
Yeah, for anybody out there, that is PowerCon/Mego Meet, August 11th and 13th. Edwin, if you got to make that show, man. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed.
Where is it again?
It's actually Columbus, Ohio, August 11th and 13th. I went to PowerCon last year. Brian was there too, and it was just tremendous. The amount of vintage toys on display and for sale. I honestly had never seen that many items in one space at one time. It was fantastic.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, it was. It really was. So very cool. Very cool. But, we're getting right to the hour there, Scott. You want to go around the horn and close it out?
Brian, let's start with Brian, and we'll end with Brian too, because I know he was trying to rush back to get on.
Yep.
And,
sure.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, no, I'm in the middle of I'm just in the middle of finishing a video, but I think I got a dog crying outside.
Oh snap!
That might be mine.
Oh no, I've got that model too. And,
Yeah, I got that model too.
Yeah.
She's like, why
So-
can't I get the slice of pizza you have?
Yeah.
Right.
Peep. Just working on a new Toy Ventures episode. Issue 10 should be coming up for I'll be doing a big reveal on it next week, and there's a lot of other really cool stuff going on, but we're just kind of everything takes time. I'm waiting for the vintage apes commercials to come back from the transfers. Yeah.
That is God's work.
Oh my God, I cannot wait.
Very cool.
It's going to be the greatest minute I've had in a long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not even touching that.
Yeah, no, it's
Not touching that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But seriously, think about what those ape commercials are going to look like on your big screen TVs.
Yeah, actually, when they come in, I do not plan to watch them on television. I plan to download them to my Plex and go.
Okay.
Actually, not right upstairs. Next door has got the bigger TV. So
Gotcha.
I might just put into my son's VR.
Yeah, there you go.
You're like,
That works.
Find me drooling on the floor.
yeah.
actually-
I'm really hoping the sound comes out of those.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for
Yeah.
how, like we've all been having to listen to forever.
You've been practicing that.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
no,
good.
I was the class clown.
Yeah, that's really good. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, we'll come back to you, Brian, at the end there to close it out too. Scott, go ahead, man.
Mego Meet, PowerCon, that I'm definitely going to be at.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this weekend Trek Long Island, I'd trade it if I could. I really would, because I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and it sounds what Edwin's has put together is, I mean, for the maiden voyage, I would just like to be there, just to show support, if nothing else. That's why I'm going to try it. But I mean, you got it going on, man. And you sat here, you gave an excellent presentation. You read it off like you've been doing this for 100 years. Not that, but and it's exciting. I know it's going to be successful. If not, move it to Brooklyn. No, I'm kidding. I know it will be. But all the best.
Thank you.
To that. I mean, it sounds great. In the humanity part of it is just amazing.
Very cool.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Very cool.
That's all I got.
All right, Jason.
I actually just want to say once again to folks, make sure you see Bonnie Moss at the Long Island Trek Con.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, what today's generation really needs to see is some of the old school fans of Star Trek like her, because she exemplifies what was best about us in the 70s and 80s and on. It's about family. It's about community.
Yep.
When you meet Bonnie, it's open arms, open heart. And that, I think, is the real true world legacy of Star Trek. The friendships that are forged because of this little silly science fiction show.
Yeah.
They really do last a lifetime. Some of the best friends I've made in life are people I've met over 50 years of being a Star Trek fan.
Right.
And that's why I'm truly grateful that you're putting this Trek Long Island convention together.
Yeah.
Because it's born out of love. It's born out of love. So thank you, Edwin, as well, for doing it.
And thanks to Stephanie as well, and Rachel and Bonnie. Bonnie's been instrumental. I mean, she's
awesome.
she's contributed a lot. Yeah.
Hey, Jason, I want to say it's fantastic seeing you back on the live shows there, bro.
Glad to be back, my friend. Ready and raring to go for the future.
Yep. All right, Edwin, go ahead, man. Let us have it one more time.
One more time, Trek Long Island next week. Come and see the stars of Star Trek Discovery, Picard, the original series, Strange New Worlds, and many more. And we have lots of diverse entertainment, art, panels, autographs, photo ops, cabaret, dinner. We've got it. So we hope you can come there and help make our maiden voyage a success, and we'll have an annual event. So
awesome, man.
Look forward to seeing you. And don't forget to stop by the Mego booth as well.
There you go. Lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff.
Oded Fair, he did the voice of Dr. Fate on the Justice League cartoon.
Oh wow!
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Very
it's a
cool.
huge video.
We've had a lot of feedback about Oded. People going, "Oh my God, you've got Oded," and this is not even to do with Star Trek.
No, it's video games.
People coming to see
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son is
Very
a
cool.
huge fan of Oded Fair, and I'm like, the guy from the Mummy movies? And he's like, yeah, he's a superstar in the video game world. It's like,
Wow.
oh,
No
gosh.
kidding.
Tell him,
Yeah.
Evan Evagora was in a video game that I can't remember, and
Yes.
everyone is like going wild over that because
Yeah.
of this video game, not for Picard. So we've got people coming not because these guys were in Star Trek, which is great. Just anyone can come. It's a celebration,
Very cool. Very cool.
Hey,
Very
it's
cool.
a whole new generation of nerds,
Yep.
and we don't get them. We're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Video
Brian,
game? What?
I think we got to retire that word because, like, there's
Oh,
more
no.
of us than everyone else.
I wear nerd.
So isn't
and
this
geek
just
proudly.
normal?
exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Brian,
At
back to
Mego,
you, man.
I call myself the house nerd. And Marty's like, shouldn't put yourself down.
There you go.
Yeah.
I go, that's a badge of honor.
It is. It is. It is.
It's
Brian,
the
back.
Quarry. The Quarry is the video game to whoever asked me.
Ah, yeah, I don't remember. My kids say
It's a
things
kid
and-
thing. It's
Yeah,
a-
yeah.
It is.
They got
It is.
the
It's
thing
like
with
celebrity news. It says like
Yeah.
Kitty Cat got in a fight with Joe Bob last night. I don't know who these people
Who
are.
is that?
I know,
Yeah.
right? Right. All right. Brian, back to you, sir. Any closing remarks? Anything else?
No, not at all. I have a contest on my channel tonight, Brickman Tooth. It's my latest video. Just answer a question, and I'm going to be drawing at around 11. I got 3
Okay.
prizes. You can find me pretty easily.
Very cool. Very cool. Paul, how about you?
What?
What do you got, man? You want to say
Listen,
closing remarks?
I spent my well-spent youth going to the original creation shows Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
And that was when, nerd was, we were the first time we had a nerd community
Yeah.
in the Hotel Pennsylvania in Manhattan.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the old days.
The
Right.
Long Golf Hotel.
Yeah, when creation was on Long Island.
Yeah.
And, that was the first time you were in a room with other people who got it.
Yeah.
For once you didn't feel like you were going to get beat up for liking Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It's
Very cool.
something, like these kids now don't like. We did a Star Trek convention in Vegas, and all the love that Discovery got from young people.
Right.
I went,
My
this
daughter loves it. Yep.
this is the future.
Yeah.
These guys are digging it, and they're getting into it. They're wearing the uniforms. They're
Yep.
very much. So
Yep.
I have to admit, I was the one pushing to do Saru
Right.
and Michael Berman.
Great figure. Yep. Very
Oh,
good.
yeah. I'm bringing my Saru to get signed.
Well,
Sandy's already signed my Salt Vampire.
I'm bringing both to get signed. I'm bringing
And
both.
another.
Not to
Love those.
negate Paul, but I actually managed to get beat up at a Star Trek convention.
Hey, that wow.
Boy, Brian,
Wow.
if you got get beat up in the nerd room.
Oh yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Look, I'm going to close it out. Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining. Edwin, thank you. Spock,
Thanks for
I
having
love
me.
the name.
It's been
Jason,
great.
it was great seeing you. Paul, as always. Mr. Brian Heiler, thank you all for joining. I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Just real quick, Trek Long Island next week. Then we've got Philly Fan Expo at the beginning of June. So those are the upcoming 2 shows. Just a quick
GalaxyCon.
GalaxyCon Raleigh in July, that one as well. So some exciting stuff coming up. Again, Wave 17 is hitting. You got Walmart, you got the Mego store on Amazon, your favorite online retailers. Get your Wave 17 figures. Get them while you can. They're hitting now. Ours will hit next week, so we're gonna have a crew here fulfilling orders. I'm gonna be in Trek Long Island, so lots of stuff going on there. Again, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I want to get that, say that. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, again, thank you guys, everybody on the panel, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. Make my Mego. See you guys.
Live long,
Thank you.
prosper.
Oh,
Good
my
luck. Bye.
Bye.